Clersthorpe in Leicester, the number 7 seed, S3.
What is your frequency? Somebody save me! I'm begging, please don't shut me out. I need you desperately. Why can't you hear me? Listen before I drop out.
Roboteers, stand by.
What will happen here to Spawn again? Darren Ball and Luke Jackman roughed up by Razor in their last battle. Wild Thing beaten by the judges, and Chaos 2 and S3 in the pit by Bigger Brother. Nick Adams at the controls of Wild Thing, Pete Alsop with the S3 controls. Sergeant Bash, uncontrolled, flamethrower and pincers. Totally out of control. Shunt will try and get you totally out of here.
3, 2, 1, activate.
It'll be mayhem. S3 moves from the right-hand side. Spawn again coming in from the left. S3 in the middle at the moment, spinning away, trying to get that hugely powerful, vertically mounted disc into play on the front of Spawn again. Slicing, bashing. Wild Thing took damage. So did Spawn against front flipper. Previously already damaged by Razor. Well, they're gang up on Wild Thing, it would seem here. Is it a process of elimination? Gang up on one, then take on t'other. Wild Thing squeezes between the two. There we can see Nick Adams at the controls. Chasing down on Spawn again. The S3, 1000 RPM, 20 kilo, 18-inch diameter snatch weapon, they call it, the spinning blade. Rotating, looking fearsome. Spawn again, momentarily silenced and stilled. Up goes its flipper, down goes the pit, released there. S3 on the charge on Wild Thing. Who's nearest the pit? Wild Thing dances away. What is that next to the pit? Something's come off. S3 on the attack. It's Spawn again being counted out by the ref bot. These two will be left to fight it out then for a place in the next battle. Spawn again, they've been counted out by the ref bot. We're down to 2. Wild Thing and S3, only one to survive. They're in the same control pod. Wild Thing, the aggressor, the more experienced here of the two, I would say. Previous semi-finalists on 2 occasions. S3 has the weaponry. Spawn again has the long way home via the pit, says Sergeant Bash. Down you go. That's the last we'll see this series of Spawn again. And I think the judges will have to decide the winners of S3 and Wild Thing. Who stays in? Who goes out?
Cease.
I don't have to make the decision. The real brains do.
Roboteers, stand by.
Let's have a look at the team. Shredder there on the left with Paul Hunt, the captain, and Rhubarb on the right, captained by Joshua Pinto. Armadrillo here on the left in the grey. The captain is Mick Stock, and S3 captained by Dave Barker. In the arena for the House Robots, a Kill-A-Lot, and a new addition for Robot Wars, the 6th Wars, Mr. Psycho, weighing in at over 600
3,
kilos.
2, 1, activate.
Just watch for S3 here. It's the bottom of your picture, left-hand side. Oh, it comes together with Shredder, and one of the weapons of Shredder has shredded itself. They said to me beforehand, it's not a reel-to-reel tape machine. If you think it is, just try and record something. I have recorded something in my notes. Shredder weaponry, USELESS, useless. S3 onto the arena sidewall. Comes back into play there with Armadrillo. Down goes the pit. Someone has released it in there. S3 looks like a hammerhead shark out there. We're seeing Rhubarb pressurised. They're still running. Is Shredder. What can it do though? It's sort of toothless. It depended on the 2 wheels coming together. S3's new weaponry is destroying our arena. It is so powerful. It is destroying our arena. We will remember S3. Sir Kill-A-Lot can't quite believe it. Mr. Psycho's come in to have a look. That there waiting gloomily is Rhubarb for destruction from the hammer. And there she blows, quite literally. That hammer comes down at 60 miles an hour. It weighs 30 kilos. You're in trouble when Mr. Psycho's after you. S3 bashes onto the shredder once again. All credit to Paul Hunt and his team, Chris Organ and Sam Jones. They're still running shredder, and S3 is after them. Meanwhile, Rhubarb's about to be counted out. In the middle of your picture, Armadillo still going, but that's the end of Rhubarb. I think the newcomers, Joshua Pinto, Lee Simpson and Mark McIntyre, who operates the weapons, couldn't really ever get into play there. So Rhubarb counted out. Mr. Psycho's hammer. Now, did that cause any damage at all to S3? I wonder. The electronics are well protected there. This is a good machine. Only Razor beat them last time. But Mr. Psycho has a mission here, and that's to get S3. Rhubarb's being clawed away to end up in a pit or somewhere. Shredder is still in there. There's Rhubarb being twirled around by Sir Killalot. We know, of course, they're out of it. Armadillo, let's see if that's still mobile in the middle of the arena. I'm not too sure. The judges will have a better look than I, and the ref bot, of course. Oh, but S3 to me is withstanding all this punishment, you know, from no less than the mighty Mr. Psycho. One of the two new house robots this series, along with Growler. That's the end of poor old Rhubarb. Ended up not in a bowl for tea, but in the pit. And Armadillo, there goes the ref for a cursory glance. S3 now! In comes the claw of Mr. Psycho. He's tried his hammer. He's trying to pierce the armament of S3. I thought that aluminium armour would be a weak link for S3. I was wrong. And so was the ref bot there. Look, it started to count out Armadillo. But there is still life in that machine. They are still mobile. Just about there. We can see one of the team members of S3, Pete Alsop, driving. Shredder is still mobile. Armadillo just being slammed by Shredder. If Shredder survives this, so how far can they go in the competition with the weaponry literally bashed, smashed and useless? It goes to a judge's decision, and they've done brilliantly to hang on in there, Shredder. Rhubarb there out. S3 will go to the judges, and Armadillo as well. But for me, well, they were bashed. Surely they'll go out, won't they? And I've heard the judges don't even need to deliberate very long on this. They've made their mind up, I think, very, very quickly.
Roboteers, stand by.
The S3 team. They're in the box, David Barker, Ian Pritchard and Pete Alsop. And the Plunderbird boys are back. Great fun. Mike Onsell on the left, Brian Kilburn on the right. He loves his curries, and we're going to have some hot stuff here in the first of our Eliminator battles. And as usual, two house robots in the arena. Dead Metal with the pins from the saw. And alongside, Sir Killalot, our own knight of roulette.
3, 2, 1, activate.
The left Plunderbird against S3. Looks like the head of a hammerhead shark, S3, and it has the teeth to match as well. But driven onto the arena sidewall by Plunderbird. Don't forget, if you're driven into the CPZ, the corner patrol zone areas, it means the house robots can come out and literally have a go at you. Plunderbird has been ripped there, look, by S3. The side of Plunderbird torn away with that attack. We haven't seen this sort of weaponry before. It is a vertically mounted disc driven on by a 3,000 RPM electric motor. It looks very destructive. S3 and Plunderbird is in real trouble here. The Plunderbird dicer, lifter, claw, jaw looks so impotent, rendered so, because the pneumatic system has been ripped to shreds there by S3 and causing more damage to the armoury of Plunderbird. The new boys are very, very dangerous. I know that they've been here before in Robot Wars with Sting, but this is a new machine in S3, and it looks absolutely awesome. On the attack again. Oh! Slicing through Plunderbird by absolutely mashing it. Look at the boys, Mike Onslow and Brian Kilburn, reduced to mere spectators. Their machine, a bauble, a plaything for S3 and the house robots like Killalot. What is left of it? The tyres teetering and tottering and wobbling. Well, that was hugely impressive by S3. The tyres are off, and they are certainly off the rails, off the track to success, on the road to nowhere. Blunderburn tossed in the air. That's the way we love to finish an eliminator, in style. But the glory here belongs to S3. And again,
Cease.
a final attack. Look at the damage! Weapon gone, armour gone. Ref bot blinks. No wonder, because S3 was mightily impressive early on. Could be a star of the future for David Barker, Ian Pritchard and Pete Alsop. In the way, Mousetrap, veterans, experienced, Stan and Jason Launchbury. We've plenty of experience with Circular Lot, hungry for more robot machinery to gobble up. And Shunt, huge pushing power.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
For a place in the heat final against Stinger. S3, the hammerhead shark, as we called him earlier, with that vertically mounted spinning disc. Awesome, as it tries to grind into Mousetrap. And I think Jason Launchbury's tactics here are to stay out of trouble. Well, or try and snare S3, and they've done just that with the guillotine blade. And if that blade can cut off the radio aerial, then S3 would be immobilised. Who will give way first here? Can the blade of S3 sever the spring of the Mousetrap? They're into the CPZ, which means Killalot can also come into the equation. The spring is holding fast. Will the bar go? Well, which robot is immobilised? Whose weapon there? The Mousetrap has certainly been broken, but I wonder if the S3 blade has also been stopped from rotating. It has. Look at that. They are locked together in some ghastly dance of death on Robot Wars. Into the arena sidewall. The blade has been stopped by the Mousetrap, whose own weapon is no longer working. To and fro, shove and heave. Who's got the greater power? S3 100 kilos, Mousetrap 95. Eventually they get away, or do they? You see there, the coil of the spring was trapped in S3. They're now free of each other. This is a terrific tussle here. We thought it would be. The guillotine slams down. The blade is working again on S3. Obviously the spring was retarding it somehow. Under 10 seconds to go. The guillotine blade of Mousetrap bent and buckled. It'll go to the judges. Which robot has sustained the most damage? Who's been the more aggressive? Controlled and stylish. What a battle that was.
What a fight!
Heat final also has in the arena Sir Killalot with his mighty machinery and weaponry, and their Shunt in the background too. Home is a CPZ.
3, 2, 1. Activate.
Question, I think, for this heat final: which robot has sustained the most damage so far? Which robot is really competing at the most capability? Well, Shredder is nudged by S3. Don't forget, the winners of this go through to the series semi-finals. The lineup for that already having a delicious and interesting look. Now, Shredder tentatively against S3. S3 spinning away to draw Shredder onto that arena sidewall. There you see the arena central spinner. Get pushed on that, the central fugal force will thrust you away across the arena. But Shredder seems to be holding its own, and in comes S3's blade. What damage did it carve there out of the side of Shredder? S3 with the 750 watt driven blade. Shredder seems to have been dented and sliced on one side, I think. And certainly the weaponry has been buckled again. It has never been effective, has it? Not really. They needed both discs to spin in counteracting style with the cutting teeth. It has never worked. S3 with a slam. They're on top here. How long can Shredder hold on? Look at the damage caused. S3 burst into Robot Wars history in Series 5 and reached the semi-finals. They defeated Stinger in their heat. They lost to Razor in the semis. This is a good machine, S3. And boy, Shredder knows that right now. Buckled and dented, smashed. Oh, again flicked up. It just looks like such a delicate flick, doesn't it? But that weapon is incredibly destructive. It also acts as a streamek, by the way. Over goes Shredder. Look at this for an attack. They're caught. The Shredder tape reel, if you like to call the weapon that, perfectly. And I think that is just about that. We haven't used this phrase before in this series of Robot Wars. Shredder RIP. Shredder rust in pieces. And the ref bot comes in for the final count. A count of deliverance, a count of mercy, a count of doom for the Shredder team. S3 worthy winners. They'll go through to the series semi-finals. And now we wait to see what happens to what is left of Shredder, because Sir Killalot is there, Shunt is there, they're on the flame pit. But before they can burn themselves into cinders, Sir Killalot once more with his little plaything, and Sir Killalot does his favourite dance. He's trying to learn how to break dance. Matilda's teaching him in the pits. It's interesting to watch, especially when Craig takes part, and Sir Killalot is also doing its own dance of very near total humiliation. They very nearly went down the pit. I don't think Sir Killalot would have fitted into that pit. Shredder long gone and coming back for more. S3 have done the damage in systematic, controlled, very positive, very professional ways, and Shredder finally pitted, and that's the end of that.
Cease.